Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is a big pile of comics. So I got a request. Last video I did was the Alterna Comics first issue bundle, and yeah, totally recommend it to anyone who's interested in getting into or checking out Alterna Comics or independent comics, especially now that a lot of us have a lot of free time to go read stuff. And I do want to caveat this. So the package includes about 23 comics, and this right here is about 16 of them. And these comics are what I consider, after reading all of them, I consider them good. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily I'm going to continue all of them. Some of them are genres that I'm not really big into. So I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that it's not really my genre, so I'm probably not going to continue, but the book was still good. And of the other books that aren't in this 16, I did not like them, and there were certain things about them, and I could do another video about those specifically, why I didn't like them. But that's just my opinion, not necessarily that you won't like them either. So, definitely do not, I'm not saying don't get the first issue bundle, because ultimately, depending on your taste, you may find that you don't like these comics that I like, but you like the other comics that I didn't go over. So that's kind of the disclaimer, I guess, when I go through this. So I'm going to go real fast here because this is a lot of comics, and I'm not going to do my usual thing where I go through more in depth with each comic. I'm going to kind of get to the high points real quick just because I don't want this to be like an hour-long video. Also, I don't want to spoil anything in these books either. They're only like $1 to $1.50, so like honestly, guys, that's not that expensive. I think these is affordable for most people to check out. First one is Mighty Mascots. We're gonna go over the everyone category, sort of kids books. So just some guy reviewed this book. Essentially, it's a funny superhero book. Basically, a bunch of breakfast cereal mascots get some weird accident and they become real life superheroes. The art is very cool. It's a very clean and stylized art, and I like it a lot. I don't know if it's necessarily Japanese inspired, but it is very, very clean and nice stylized art. One criticism of the book is it does kind of leave you on a cliffhanger, which kind of, if you want to keep going with it, you got to keep buying it. I will say, totally recommend to kids or young teenagers, and honestly, even if you're an adult, you'll probably enjoy reading this one. So that's Mighty Mascots. Next one is I See Me, which essentially is it's like Alterna's like rotating new reprint issue. So it's kind of interesting. They basically reprint, random issues that are in demand, I guess, from that, and then it gets reprinted in the I See Me. So this is Mr. Crypt, and again, this is a children's book, and the art is very newspaper comic strippy. So definitely something like if you kind of like the Garfield, Calvin Hobbes, Peanuts kind of stuff. This is a good comic book. Great comic book to give to a kid. Very wholesome story. It's actually not that bad. It actually has it's kind of innocent and cute, but it has a little bit of some fun with it too. Pretty good one to give, like, especially for 99 cents. This is a great little book to give to like your niece or your daughter if you're a parent, right? Or your son, nephew. Nothing too mature in here, but very entertaining and fun. Which goes into the next one, which is Mr. Crippen and Baron Rat. And I actually like this issue more than the I See Me issue. Mainly because I think the artist starts to get into his stride here and is really enjoying his style. There's a lot of really funny panels in here. And the storytelling is like, this is kind of like this type of storytelling that I think Doug TeNapel tries to do, but I think he needs an editor to really get it done. This creator here, I think, who creates this? Okay, it's art by Aleksandar, and then written by Troy Vevasis? Vevasis? Are these guys Eastern European? I'm not sure. But Troy, good job, man. You're getting into your stride here for a children's comic. This is pretty good. All right, so now we're going to jump into sci-fi. And then we get into Exilium. Exilium? Is that how it's pronounced? Okay, sorry, Ben Slabak. I screwed up the name. But the book itself is really good. Art is fantastic. So Salomon Farias, his pencil and inks are really, really good. I'm not too fond of Mark Sintis's colors in this book. I think they're a little too faded and pastel. I think this book would do a lot better with less fuchsia and more saturated sort of pop. That's just my opinion, though. But otherwise, story is very engaging, very cool. You get into a lot of action, a lot of stuff happens. You do get left on a cliffhanger, which, again, I hate, but at the same time, it was so well written and so well drawn that I'm like, all right, you got this. I will be continuing this series. Definitely there. Good job, Ben Slabak and Salomon Farias. Then we have this. This is it came out on a Wednesday, and this is essentially Alterna Comics anthology. So it's sort of a collection of stories or introductions or other stuff. So in a way, if you wanted to have sort of a cheaper way of just checking out Alterna Comics, you can grab this one, and it's full of more like short stories to get you kind of into what Alterna Comics is all about. Some of it is pretty good, like the short story here by Peter Simeti. This one is freaking fantastic. I love this short story by Peter Simeti. Not to be mean to Peter, I like this actually a lot more than his other book, The Chair. Sorry, Peter. You also get Mr. Crypt, and you get a side story for the previous book I did, Exilium. It's actually a really cool side story. So very cool. Definitely check out. It came on Wednesday. It's a good anthology. This one is Eric Henson's Eden. I liked this book a lot. One of the things that I felt when I was done with this book is, even though all the dialogue was okay, and the art's good though, art's very good, and I felt the pacing at times was a little bit rough. I ended up really liking Exilium because it is so solidly written. Like, it's just great introduction, great narration, very well structured. Just has some dialogue and pacing could be improved, but honestly, I don't mind it so much. This was a good book. I like this a lot. I'm normally not a sci-fi guy, but I was kind of impressed by the my Alterna Comics sci-fi lineup. It was really, really good. Next book we got is Unit 44. This is also sci-fi, but it's almost like a humor Men in Black kind of sci-fi. Art is very stylized and very clean and sharp. I kind of like it, even though I think it needs some more angles or better angle shots. There's a lot of straightaway shots in this issue, but otherwise the art's good. Story's pretty funny. It's actually got some good one-liners in here. Definitely recommend it if you want more of a humorous sort of comic to check out. Next comic is, now we're getting into fantasy here. This is Legends of Log, and even though it's rated E for everyone because it's kind of it's not exactly very super deep storytelling, and it's really actually a collection of short stories. What I will say immediately about Legends of Log is, who's his name? Barry, Bob Barry. I freaking love his line art and inks. It's, at times it can be kind of children's booky, but at other times it's really good. Like this chapter right here, oh man, I love his line art in this one. This one's really good. It's only a collection of short stories, and so it kind of explains why it's $1. So it's really, really short strips, almost like Judge Dredd kind of stuff. But I ended up liking this character a lot, and I hope whoever it is, Ski Suharski, I hope he does a longer story, because I kind of want a longer story of this character. Kind of funny character, but still interesting. Gods and Gears. So I liked this book, but only near the end. This book is a little confusing in some parts. So a criticism I will have to levy on this book is it needs better exposition, personally, because things are it kind of throws you into a lot of action, and that's good. It gets your page turning, but I think the writer needs to add some more exposition to the book. Otherwise, the art's good and dialogue's great, and it kind of gets you into this crazy ass freaking fantasy machine magic world. So not bad. Midnight Mystery. So the first Midnight Mystery book in the pack I didn't like, but ironically enough, the second book I did like. I actually do like noir category. I am very fond of Dashiell Hammett's old books. So this book, it does have kind of a simple art style, which I'm like, it's okay. It's kind of Cartoon Network-y. But, the storytelling in the second volume I like a lot. Wasn't too fond of the first one, but got to give it to you. This one right here, pretty good. So, Trespassers. Now we're getting into the mature books right here. Trespassers is kind of sick. I'm not going to lie. So the art's a little on the weird side, and it definitely is. There's a lot of influence. You could tell that both the artist and the writer is heavily influenced by The Road and The Last of Us. But I was thoroughly impressed by both the writing and even though the art's a little weird, the overall layouts are very good by the artist. Just sometimes the figures and the faces could be a little weird. But yeah, dude, the twist at the end of this one issue of Trespasser is pretty freaking nuts. I really, really liked it. I'm definitely going to continue Trespassers. I want to see where this one goes, and I also kind of see where the artists where they kind of improve as this or if they change over the issues. Next one we got is the Wicked Righteousness. This one has probably, I think, the most issues that Alterna Comics has. So you get the first volume is 6 issues, and the second volume, Wicked Righteousness, is another 6 issues. So a lot of issues here by Terry Mayo, Lucas Romero, and Brandon Stefano. The art style is very stylized. It's kind of like on the edge of I guess modern American style, and then and a little bit of manga influences. I'm not sure, but the story is pretty good. It's a post-apocalyptic kind of story. Same thing with Trespassers. These guys are all somewhat post-apocalyptic. It puts you in the shoes of these kids, and it gives you a sort of Red Dawn kind of feel. I like these books. I'm definitely going to be continuing them. I'm definitely going to finish Volume 1. And then if I like it, I'll continue on with Volume 2. They give you the first issues for Volume 1 and Volume 2. Next book is one that my buddy Jay Ishiro Feeney recommended, which is The 12. And very interesting. Another post-apocalyptic comic, but this one has more of a family dynamic going on to it. And art's also very stylized, but a different type of style. Again, you got more of a modern American comic style going on in here. And it's not bad. I kind of like it. The only thing I will say as a criticism to this book, it's got a great story and it gets you into it. I'm not fond of this two-tone coloring scheme. And there's probably a good reason why the author wants to do this. I don't know. I prefer sort of full color, and I don't like over-saturation sort of bisexual camera techniques, I guess is what people call. That's my only criticism. Otherwise, the 12 is very good. Void Walker. All right. So this of the mature comics, and I'm not going to lie, it's not without its flaws, but I really like Void Walker. Mainly because it's just immediately you get into it's gangster noir mixed with freaking Hellion demons. It's pretty freaking dope, dude. I actually really like this book a lot. The art is also freaking fantastic, dude. Oh man, some cool ass shit. So yeah, good job, Kristian Rossi and Spencer Desmond. This is some dope ass freaking comic. It does have a couple hang-ups, mainly that again probably needs an editor and a little more exposition to kind of clean it up and get the pacing set, but the art and the writing is still really good, and definitely of the mature books, this is my favorite of them. Yeah, man. So there you go. All of them reviewed. Gave me 13 minutes to go through. These are the good books. If you want me to talk about the other books, I will, but I will be a lot more critical of those books just because I didn't really like them. It's not because they're not objectively bad. They weren't my thing, and I'll explain why I didn't like them if you guys want to hear. If not, I'll just leave it be. I mean, you might pick them up and like them, and I might be full of it, right? So, nothing personal here, just what I like and what I don't like. So, oh boy, how did I do? Not bad. So, as you can tell, I have 16 books. And I thought about it for a while, and I was like, I'm not going to draw 16 panels. That's freaking brutal. So I picked out the panels that I thought, A, would fit on a piece of paper so I could show you, and B, I kind of liked a lot. So let's go over, let's see, what's the first one? The first one is Exilium. Where are you? I gotta grab this guy. So this is actually the first 2 pages. These are 2 of the main characters. And I thought this was a pretty good facial expression for an alien. So I liked it a lot. Well, never mind. Not here. Where are you? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so this is the page right here. Got a chance to do some more detail work. I did end up changing the camera angle, so I brought him in closer and shoved in the head a little further back. But it was fun to do some detail work. The artist here has more of a detailed style, so it made it really fun to do this. Next one was from Eden. Where are you? So this was Eden. This was kind of at the end of it. This is honestly, I think, probably my weakest panel. The original artist did a much better job than I did. So here you can see the original art. Here's mine. Yeah, my anatomy is off. Her chin is too far down. I needed this chin to come up angled a little bit better. And also, I freaking hate inking hair so much. So yeah, original artist way better than me. I kind of screwed this one up. But, you know, decent effort right there. Second one was this was Unit 44. So it's really funny to go from a detailed style to a more cartoony style. And here's a good example of it. So Unit 44 has a more cartoony style. It's very clean, almost webcomic-like, but not. Where are you? Sorry. I'm going to move this off the page here. I can't seem to find where this thing is located right now. Yeah, so this one right here, I did in a cut panel, right? So this is just a face panel. So you can see it right here. This is the original art right here, and this is my art. I ended up making his eyes bigger, and I'm not sure why I did that. Also, his hair is freaking massive compared to the original art. But stylized art is pretty cool, dude. I kind of like this. Maybe as a change-up, right? This one right here is from, let's see, that's from Mr. Crypt. Let me grab it right here. Yeah, this is a long-ass video. Sorry, guys. We are talking about 16 comic books here. So, yeah, so this right here I took and I zoomed in on this particular panel right here and cut out his hand. Mainly because I wanted to focus on Baron Rat, because Baron Rat's kind of cool. Actually, a really cool character. Yeah, really good job by Troy here and Aleksandar for the creation of this character. Next book is from Log. And this one right here, dude, I love freaking Bob Berry's art. It's actually pretty good in this particular story in this one. Overall, his art's really good, but this one, the Log and the Savage Girl is really, really good. So what I did right here is I took the 2 panels right here, and then I combined them together to create this look right here. I actually wanted to do a full page spread of some of the other pictures, like this panel right here of Savage Girl, and this one is really, really good. But I realized, I mean, the book is called, you know, Legends of Log. It would be kind of weird if I only drew Savage Girl. So yeah, that's where that came. Bob Berry's style is more detailed, and I kind of like it. It's more traditional American comic. Like that a lot. So this other one is Mighty Mascots. This is, let me get you right here. This is Boxer Bear, ready to put the whip down. So what I did here is, this is a cool black background. He's about to wind up right here, so I zoomed in on this section. Again, you kind of have to pull back to get the correct detail. It's kind of a simple panel, but it kind of emphasizes the character. Then last one is Void Walker. So this one right here is just a cool face picture panel. And I love Void Walker. I wanted to do a bigger panel, but I wanted to also fit the rest of the characters on this. So there you got Void Walker right here, and this is the panel I copied. Dude, I love inking a black background. It just makes this like really cool effect. It's kind of dope. Alrighty then. That's it. That's the video. Let me know what you think. If you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. If you got any comments on Alterna comics, the ones I reviewed, or this artwork, leave it down below. And I will see you next time.